This video is going to show the team sharing feature in Adaptable, and to do it we're using two instances of the Chrome browser. Both are looking at the same page on our demo site, demoadaptabletools.com, and the team sharing snapshot demo. So you can see we've got two windows, and what we're going to do is we're going to just make that smaller so we've got some screen estate. We're going to share between these two instances. So what we will do is let's call this instance Bob, and we're going to share to this Firebase here. This is where the state is being shared in this first instance. So there we are, that's that one. And let's go into this one and we'll call this user Alice, and she will use the same Firebase prefix as Bob. So essentially they're now each using the same instance. So how does team sharing work? Well, it's very simple. One user creates an object, uploads it to the share, and that's then available for other users. So let's give an example. Bob decides he wants to decorate, say, the employee column. So he will go in, he will say he wants to create a format column. It picks a column already, so he'll pick a style. So let's say he decides to make it brown. Let's say he'll have a 4 color. He'll change the format to be uppercase, and he will make the alignment to be centered. So that's what he creates. He finishes that. You can see that column's there. But now Bob is going to share it. So he puts it into the share and he calls it employee format column. He saves it as a snapshot, so that now gets uploaded. You can see it's been shared successfully. So now Alice, in her grid, she is able to go into the team sharing, and there she can see the snapshot by Bob when it was. She can import it, and it successfully imports and it gets saved. Now this is a snapshot view. This means that any changes that Alice or Bob make is not reflected to the other. So if Alice decides that she doesn't like that back colour and she wants a different back colour, so she wants to make it green and white, she can do that. She's changed hers, but Bob's is remained unchanged. And if at any point Alice now wants to go back to the original, she can, because obviously it's in team sharing. So anytime she wants, she can download the original, she can import it, it will overwrite her config. She agrees to that, successfully imported, and there we are. So that's a snapshot share. But we can go further. So let's first actually create a couple of special columns. So Bob is going to create two special columns. He will create a calculated column. Let's keep this simple. So let's just say it's going to be the change last order times by 5. So it's a simple column. He will call it big change. It knows it's a number. It doesn't need to save anything else. You've got a summary of what's there. And there we are. Bob now has a new calculated column. And let's now also, Bob wants a free text column. So he decides he wants a new column. He's going to call it comments. It's a string, and we'll use the inline editor. So there we are, quite simple. So Bob's now created these two new columns. One's a free text, one is a calculated column. And what he can do is he can also now create a new layout. So Bob decides he wants a new layout. He will call it demo layout. He'll have the order ID, he'll have a couple of these columns. And let's now scroll down, and he will add these columns also. You can add row groups, you can add pivoting, all sorts of other stuff. So there's his layout with the calculated column, looking at the change last order, timesing it by 10, and his comments. And what he can also add some comments, so he can say first row, and he can say fourth. Now if he now decides he wants to share this layout, Bob can do that at any time. He goes into the config and he clicks the share button, and he'll say it's the demo layout. This time he will make it active. That's now shared. So Alice is now able to go into her team sharing And in fact, you can see that it's, as well as the format column from before, it's added a calculated column, the free text column and the layout. And the reason why it's done that is because you can see it says that the free text column and the calculated column, they're both dependencies of the layout. So if Alice wants, she can import either of these, but in fact Adaptable, because it knows of these dependencies, allows Alice simply to import this layout. So if Alice imports this layout, it gets successfully imported. It now says everything's up to date, you can see, because it's constantly polling. And Alice is now able to go into her demo layout and she sees the comments. And if she now wants to make a column, so she now says she wants to add this, she's updated her layout, which means that Bob goes into his team sharing and he says, oh, your thing is stale because of the dependency. I get my latest version, I'll import it. And now I can see the comment that Alice has added. So when you change this layout, it's now active. Any changes you make to the layout, which Bob makes, Alice will see, and vice versa, or indeed any change you make to any of the dependency items. So there's two ways of team sharing. There's a snapshot, where once you've shared, the items remain distinct from each other, or there's this active sharing where any change that either the uploader or any of the downloaders make to the shared item are immediately reflected. There's a lot more to show obviously in team sharing, but hopefully that gives you a sense of how it works. As always, any questions, please do get in touch. Thanks for watching.